and to Super Blues, ringing all around. Now all you blue boys know what we mean. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? Let's see you in the cup, singing our song, helping and sharing the load. It's worth the point at home when we sing together. We're there at the end of the road. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? We have the Tigers tops here at St Andrews. They're gonna give us what we're longing for. It's Birmingham forever, let's hear it from the stand. So come on City, sing this song once more. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy.
And good evening and welcome to the Tilton Talk Show. No, Nick. Apparently he's got an abscess on his... but we won't talk about that. With us this evening, we have Mr. Sheen, Paul Hipkiss.
Good evening, all.
And Mr. Roden, Mark Adams.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're okay.
And a special guest, Paul Caddis.
How we doing, guys? All right?
Yeah, we're all good. You good?
Oh, mate.
Yeah, well, thanks. Very well.
Good stuff. Loads of questions to come. Paul, I think we should get straight into what happened. We won.
Yeah. Brilliant game on Saturday in the end, and got the result that we've been craving for ages, and it finally came into place. First half, we took the game to Middlesbrough, didn't we? And got the goal, and yeah, I think we were well worthy winners. Defensively outstanding. I'll throw it out there early doors. Is that our best 11 from the players that we've got? I thought to myself at the start, possibly, Friends centre-half with Dean and Pedersen left-back. Apart from that, that's probably the team I would have picked before the game. I think Sunic and Clifton Bell together in midfield is a must. We're a different team when they play together, in my opinion. And it was great to see Scott Hogan get a goal again, and that'll do his confidence the world of good. And for me now on Wednesday night, he must keep the same 11. I really hope that he keeps the same 11, providing we haven't got any injury problems, obviously, or any other issues for us not to do that. But yeah, in my opinion, I'm really hoping now he keeps the same 11 and we can kick on from here. I noticed on Sky Sports they kept harping on about Sanchez's lunge at their player, and I thought, for me, I thought the one thing they didn't mention was the fact that he was actually fouled in the first place, which is what made him so frustrated, because it was a blatant free kick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what I was shouting at the telly is, well, none of you have mentioned once the fact that he was actually fouled, which is what actually, agitated him to do what he did. But it was never a red card anyway, in my opinion. It was just a little lunge out, and he hardly even touched him, did he? So if you're going to get a red for that, then, as Tom would say, the game's gone.
The game's gone.
So yeah, overall, great result there, great 3 points, and we're only the second team to beat them at home this season. And let's hope now the lads can really kick on and start to sort out the mental side to the game at home and start to play like this at home and beat teams at home. And, second half, that change that he made, I thought, oh, what's he doing here, on about 65 minutes? But it worked a treat, didn't it? Going through at the back. Yeah.
How much of a shock was it? Because I don't think any of us predicted a win, did we?
No. I was confident. I was hoping we'd nick a draw, and I didn't think there'd be many goals in it. But to come away with that, no, I didn't see that coming, to be honest.
No, and we had that little bit of luck as well, obviously, when it goes off the post and doesn't go over the line. And, it's about time we had a bit of luck like that. But I thought we should have had a penalty on Djukovic as well. When he was pulled back a little bit, to be honest. I've seen them given. You know, so, but yeah, overall, can't complain. I thought we were well-worthy winners, and
Definitely.
let's back it up now with a home win on Wednesday night as well. That would be wonderful.
I'd just like to say how well, I think that was Friend's best performance in a blue shirt, to be honest. I thought Friend was excellent.
What a game he had.
He was absolutely superb.
Him and Harley Dean. Yeah, him and Harley Dean and San Jose. The whole back four were brilliant, weren't they? Colin as well. And,
they're all fantastic.
How nice was it that Hogan scored that goal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes a mockery of all these, all these rumours that amazingly we all, you have the Buster. But how does anyone know?
Yeah. We don't know. No, it's all speculation, isn't it? Really, it's all speculation.
It was great to see him kiss. It was great to see him kissing that tattoo on his arm again, wasn't it? It's been a while.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a Tilton Talk Show tattoo. That's why.
No, it's a picture of Nick's boy. Oh no, better not say that.
Did you see any of this at all, Paul? Did you watch any other game at all? I know you've played yourself. Have you seen the highlights?
I seen the goal. It was a really well worked goal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen the kick you're talking about as well. And I don't know how the refs no gave a foul. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a blatant foul. You can understand that why you do get frustrated. But no, I'll be honest. I just seen the goal.
Is it the same in League One as well? The standard of, I know obviously you can't have to be careful what you say, but the officials in the Championship are just absolutely diabolical. This season, some of the decisions that we've had.
The Championship referees are full time as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
full time.
I think the League One ones are. I don't think they're full time. So the Championship ones really don't have an excuse. But listen, it is frustrating. It's extremely frustrating.
Yeah.
But now we had stuff sent through at our club. Birmingham's probably had the same on the Friday night about all these new regulations. You can't. Basically, you've got to stay well away from the referee just to do with COVID. So it's almost making their life as easy as possible.
Yeah.
There's no atmosphere in the stadium. There's no. So the decisions are just off the cuff at times. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
I know Villa Park. Probably they don't notice. There's no atmosphere anyway.
Yeah. There was the joke going before the game, wasn't that? Because we should stop celebrating. When we score goals because of COVID, and of course it wouldn't apply to us. So, but we went and won, didn't we? Yeah, Tony Sauce says defended properly, tight and right side, and supported Hogan, who's a predator. Not a ball chaser. Adam says, I bet Karanka changed his team next game. Just wanted to get a win over former team Borough.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping doesn't happen massively, especially this time after getting that positive result with that team. I really hope he doesn't make, 5 or 6 changes on Wednesday night and sticks with the same 11.
He probably will tinker with it though, won't he, Paul?
Oh, probably, yeah.
And if he does and we win, then fine. But for me, I'd stick the same 11, to be honest.
Yeah. Stuart says, I love Warnock ranting at Friend, being a gentleman. Warnock being Warnock. Steve Kell says, welcome, Paul, the saviour Caddis.
Yeah.
Benji
says, we need to wear green at home.
We do. I agree with that.
Yeah. Start wearing the green kit.
Yeah. We're certainly good in that kit, aren't we? And we get some good results in it. So, yeah, why not?
For the boys in lime green.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So, Paul, then let's go back to what year did you join us, mate? 2013, 14?
2012-13 season.
12-13, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Lee Clark's first year. Yeah.
So how did it come about then? You're obviously at Swindon at the time.
Yeah, I was at Swindon. I ended up out of favour at Swindon. So I sort of done my kind of own pre-season for 3-4 weeks. I was meant to go to MK Dons, and then just last minute, Lee Clark had called me, said, do not go, leave it with me for a couple of hours. Would you be interested? And it was just an absolute no-brainer. So there I was, just on my way there. I got there the Friday. We played Peterborough the Saturday, and for insurance purposes, all the things that go on behind the scenes, and 2 clubs trying to sort it out, I couldn't train that day. So I hadn't met the players. I was stuck in a box in St Andrews. I had only spoke to the manager through the phone calls. He eventually came to the box about 4 or 5 o'clock later on that day and said, how do you feel about starting tomorrow? And I was absolutely, obviously, again, I was like, yeah, fine. But deep inside, I was thinking, oh, I've not done much in the last couple of weeks, like game wise. But I always knew, I always knew adrenaline gets you through things, and I got there and went into the dressing room. My first day was literally my debut was the day I met the players.
Yeah, yeah, and you served us really well. You know, over the years you was with us, you were brilliant, mate. Yeah, definitely. What was it about the number 31? Was it? I always wondered. You know, with footballers and that, are you superstitious about your number? Was you superstitious about number 31? Or was it just a number you got and you stuck with?
No, the first year I came, I was number 28.
Oh, okay,
the year I came on loan, yeah, and then I came back, and that was the only one that was available. Listen, I've never been one. Believe it or not, I'm 32 now, and this is the first time in my career I've had number 2.
Okay,
really?
As a right back, yeah, I've never ever had number 2. So, and I was always I was told when I went to Birmingham, number 2 was a curse. Because obviously people getting injured a lot. There was this right when I went, it was like this right back curse. Like obviously Stephen Carr had a bad injury.
Yeah.
Then I had went on loan and then came back the following year. Neil Early had a bad injury.
Yeah,
It just seemed to be like a right back thing. So no, numbers was what it was. It genuinely didn't bother me. But I could have had 3,000 in the back of my shirt. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it doesn't bother you. Yeah, I bet other players are different though, aren't they? I would imagine, aren't they?
Oh, massively, yeah.
Yeah,
Massively. There's loads of people want certain numbers, and to be honest, I've tripped myself up here. I've actually done it once. I've done it at Swindon with the Canio. So the Canio used to make us at Swindon bid for our own number, and then we raised money and we gave it to charity. So there were a lot of people, like strikers would want 9, wingers would want 7, 11, etc. So we ended up just the boys that wanted the same number had to bid against each other. So I'm Scottish and I'm tight, so I didn't want to bid against anyone. So I took number 17 because at the time my daughter was born on the 17th of June. So that's the only reason I've ever picked any number at all.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean, that leads on to the next question, Paul. Have you kept any of your shirts? Have you got any?
I've got them. I've got them all. I've just recently moved house, and I've just came across them all. Yeah, I've got more. I've got more Birmingham than any other one. We used to get like quite a lot of our shirts and stuff like that. But yeah, I've got them all. I've got probably speak about it later. The Bolton one. I've got that. My mum and dad got that framed for me. Part of my Christmas and stuff like that. So I've got that and a frame and hanging them in the wall.
So that leads us on. That obviously leads us on nicely to that, doesn't it? To Bolton away. Obviously, that day I couldn't make it that day. I wasn't there. I know you was there, Mark. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was at my mum and dad's house, and we had it on Sky Sports, and they were going to and from Leicester to Bolton, from Leicester to Bolton, and I just couldn't cope with it. It was so stressful, even not being there.
It was absolute madness. See, to be honest, the Bolton game, the build-up started after the Wigan game the Tuesday night, because we lost that game. I think if we won that, they gave us a massive advantage. So we're really going into the Bolton game locked down and like considering other results. So the build up that week was like no other week, to be honest. I'm not going to sit here and lie and try and hide behind it all. It was extremely tough, and to be fair, I've got to give Lee Clark a lot of credit. There was all these rumours going about there'll be a lot of redundancies, there'll be this, there'll be that, but he done so well to keep that away from the players, take the pressure off the players. Just it's up to us to go and play football and trying to go there with a clear mind. And eventually, the end result was obviously we stayed up. But yeah, it was a tough week, like no other. But something I'll never forget.
And obviously, the man himself, Lucas Djukovic, nearly sent us down, didn't he? Obviously, got the second goal.
Second goal.
I played with Jukes actually when he came to the club. I was there as his first year, my last. I've reminded them of that plenty of times.
So when we go 2 down, did you still in your minds? Did you? I mean, obviously we did it, but did you still believe that we could at 2-0 down? Because I thought we were down. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I won't lie. If you see the second goal in, I'm at the edge of the box and I'm like this.
Yeah.
So that says it all. I genuinely thought 2-0 down, 12 minutes to go.
No chance.
At the time, I wasn't aware of what was going on at Leicester, so I was thinking to myself, Leicester's hopefully going to be winning. But I knew that was another thing in the build-up. We had heard that Leicester had already won the league, so the Leicester boys were out on the lash. They were out drinking all week, and we're thinking, oh no, you're kidding. Our biggest game, they're getting the trophy and stuff like that. So we were trying to tell ourselves, surely they're getting the trophy in front of their own fans. They want to go out on a high. They want to win. But anyway, once the second goal went in, I remember Big Daz should have probably saved it, and because it went under his arms, innit, at the near post. Yeah, and I'm at the edge of the box, like hands on my head, and I thought, oh my God, this. And it then actually started going through your head, thinking, what is going to actually happen to this club? And I kept thinking, is it going to be like the next Pompey? Is it going to just keep dropping? Do you know what I mean? You just go through all those fears, because I know a lot of fans, and listen, some players might be like that, but I've always bought into a club that I've played with, and I just knew like this would be drastic for a club that size. But then they got the goal back with Big Ziggy, and I've said it before, as soon as Ziggy scored, the only thing we heard in the full stadium was those 4,000 or 5,000 fans behind the stand. And you think, they still believe we've unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, actually.
The noise.
And let's talk through the goal, that moment itself then. So if I remember, it's Lee Novak, isn't it, who slips over when he puts the ball in the box. And then Jordan Ive gets the ball. He sort of cuts in, doesn't he? He has a shot, and then it sort of goes up in the air. Ziggy sheds it down. Yeah. And then I still got
a bit of stick to this day to say that Ziggy's header was actually over the line, but I don't believe it.
And did it feel like an age? Did it, when it dropped onto your head, did it feel like years, the ball coming down to your head?
Do you know what? See, thinking about it, I can still hear it. I can still just, it kind of goes quiet, and then I heard it, and I just remember the place erupting. I can still hear it, and I knew it was late. I remember thinking, this is 92, 93. So the fans probably never noticed this, but they're all probably 5-6 rows further down than where they should be. Then
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, so I run right away up to the far right-hand side of the stadium, right up in the corner flag, so I could try and burn more time for the referee to come all the way up. I stood there. He booked me for taking my top off, get my six-pack out, six-pack of Iron Brew. And then I remember when I was celebrating, I run to Darren Randolph, because the second goal, the one we said Daz should have done better, Daz was crying. He had tears in his eyes, like he was proper crying. He thought he'd let everybody down, and Daz was unbelievable for us that year. So I just So I run to Daz, and me and Daz had a bit in the just around about the halfway line. But yeah, listen, you look back at it and you laugh and stuff like that. Could it have been a foul from Jonathan Spector beforehand? I don't know if you remember when they cleared it.
I do.
Kind of jumped on the young lad. So that referee, believe it or not, he was also the same referee that added the time on when we went 2-0 down against Derby and we drew 2 each. Remember that?
Yeah.
Away from home. Yeah. He was a referee there as well, and it was just you just remember things like that. Yeah. What a day! Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I remember your interview after as well, and I won't repeat what he said, but Robbo coming up behind you.
Yeah, Robbo. Yeah, brilliant. You just listen. We didn't want to be in that situation, but we had to make the best of it, and the best of it was obviously keeping the club in the division. And
I mean, it would have. Sorry. It would have took us back to 1995. It would have set us way back.
Yeah.
You know, but and the actual feeling. I was on the top tier, but all around me is just like I say. When we went 2 down, I think we all realised, hang on, this is the year we go.
Yeah.
There was
I think it was weird. It was weird enough because I scored that goal and I've run obviously down the line, and there was 4,500, 5,000 people there. And you know the one face I seen was my brother.
Really?
My brother was sitting ended up in the second row for some reason, and out of every face, it was like him. I just run past him.
Brilliant. So what did you do after then? After the game had finished, obviously you celebrated in the dressing room, and then what happened?
Yeah, even in the dressing room, there was genuinely 2-3 minutes of sheer silence, and I'm not exaggerating. Silence. Couldn't hear a pin drop.
Relief.
Just like massive relief. Lee Clark's in the corner, and his face is beetroot red. And it was just silence. But then afterwards, listen, I don't drink. I'm teetotal, so somebody else should have probably scored that.
You're Scottish.
Somebody else should have probably scored that goal and enjoyed it a bit more.
Yeah.
I had a can of Iron Brew on the bus on the way home. But we went out for a bit afterwards. Obviously, as I said, I don't drink, so I was back home pretty early-ish, and I remember it was about 1:30 in the morning, and I'm lying sleeping, and my missus is like, Paul, there's somebody shouting outside, and I've opened up my my curtains in my my bedroom, and Lee Novak and Darren Randolph's in my garden singing "There's Only One Paul Caddis" at 1:30 in the morning, steaming, paralytic drunk. Just unbelievable. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant.
We've had literally hundreds of questions, and I really will catch up in a bit. But Sam Mullett asks, who was Paul's best friend at the Blues?
My closest friends was Jonathan Grounds, and lucky enough I'm back in Swindon with him now. And Stephen Gleeson, Andrew Shinney. That was the three that I was closest with. Got on really well with Robbo as well. Still speak to Robbo. Still speak to quite a lot of the lads. Got on at the time with David Cottrell, but the closest one was Jonathan Grounds. But through other things outside of football, was his wife's Scottish as well. Got on really well with my partner. I was at his wedding and stuff like that. So Grounds is the one I was closest with.
Yeah, another one who served us well. He served us really well, didn't he, Jonathan Grounds?
Yeah,
He did. He did.
Yeah.
Great.
He was just steady, wasn't he? He was never anything unbelievable or terrible. I know he took a bit of stick at times, but he was. I actually enjoyed him playing at left back because it let me attack more because he didn't like going over the halfway line.
I always thought I always thought Grant's got a bit of unfair stick. To be fair,
it's one of those ones that I think. What did he play? 160 odd games for the club or something?
Yeah.
It was a great.
And if you look at it, he probably played under 3-4 managers, and they all played him. So he must have been doing something.
Yeah.
So it was good.
He seems to be a scapegoat a lot of the time, amongst fans. But me personally, I really liked him.
Yeah, he was steady.
Aaron says, I know it's a silly question, but what was your best moment at Blues?
obviously that goal, but to take that goal out of it, it was probably the debut. Just going from, listen, we've all probably done it. We're all guilty at looking at Sky Sports on the transfer centre and going, how's he nicked that move? And I've came from League Two to Birmingham, and I know for a fact people going, how's he nicked that move? So just to go out there, I think I got man of the match the first game and done quite well, and just for my own benefit as well, just to say I can do this at this level and with these big personalities, and because listen, there was big personalities that first time I went in that dressing room. Big personalities. You had Marlon King, you had Keith Fahey, you had Stephen Caldwell, Curtis Davis, the Burkey, Hayden Mullins, Wade Elliott, to name a few. They were big personalities, and I had came from captain at Swindon. I was 24, and we were quite a young team, so I was probably one of the bigger personalities at Swindon, but certainly not at Birmingham that first year.
Yeah.
I think it's true, isn't it, that the better players you play with, the better you play yourself.
Oh, 100%. And I probably didn't realise until my first time at Birmingham. I thought, these players will make me better. Yeah. And I remember hitting it off with Chris Burke straight away. Probably because it's the only two people that understood each other in the dressing room. But I had a great relationship with Burke. It was, I loved it, absolutely loved it. And listen, I've got a lot to thank the manager for, Lee Clark. He took a bit of stick at times at the club, but I thought his management, with me personally, was unbelievable.
Yeah, someone's just asked how you got on with Lee Clark. Did you get on okay with him? Good bloke.
Yeah, loved him. Yeah, I played against a lot of his Huddersfield teams. He wasn't any different to what you seen at Blues. He was passionate. You could see him. He was kicking every ball. But listen, he had such a family side to him. He had such a sentimental, he had a soft side to him that probably only us as players seen it. Listen, when we lost it, it proper hurt him. It did. It genuinely did hurt him. He bought into everything at the club. He tried everything that year that we stayed up where we had the terrible home run. He genuinely tried everything. We tried staying at the hotel in Birmingham. We tried doing different things in training. We tried meeting up for pre-match. We tried not meeting for pre-match. He tried everything. So, I got on really well, and I still speak to him to this day. Yeah,
we spoke to him just before Christmas. Really nice guy. Yeah. So honest, absolutely.
Yeah.
Somebody says, do you realise that you are a blues folklore hero? Do you actually realise how much of an hero you are?
No, I genuinely don't. And
oh, crikey.
I remember, so after that game, Gary Pendry was Gordon Strachan's assistant manager at Celtic when I was player at Celtic, and there was all the talk of, it was the Player of the Year awards that Sunday after the Bolton game, or the Monday, sorry. There was the Sunday or the Monday, and the talk was, if we go down, it won't go ahead. If we stay up, it will go ahead. And I was at Gary Pendry's table, and I remember him saying to me that night, listen, your life at this club will change from this day.
Yeah.
And I was 25, 26. I'm like, yeah, just kind of in one ear out the other, not expecting it, but genuinely had people coming up that night crying, saying, "Oh, you've saved my job, you've done this, you've saved my marriage, you've saved my marriage."
Yeah. I can believe it.
You've done this, you've done that, and it was like,
yeah.
and it's one of those clubs. Birmingham's one of those massive football clubs that you don't realise till you're actually inside.
Yeah, it is.
No, yeah. But I think for me, I'm just sitting there thinking of the actual consequences. What would have happened if you hadn't scored that goal? And
scary,
you know,
yeah,
it is quite scary to think what would have actually happened, because I think we probably would have done a Portsmouth or like you say, a Bradford.
Yeah, that's the only
or
other
like
one I could really. Yeah, Bradford. Yeah, that Portsmouth's the only the one that I could really think of, that decent sized club, obviously nowhere near the size of Birmingham, but a decent sized club, and you think they've done it. Is this what's going to happen at this club? But
yeah.
Thankfully, we've never had to think about that.
Well, look at Sunderland as well. They've had a right game getting out of League One. They're back to the Championship, and they still haven't done it.
Yeah,
and Coventry.
Still not done it.
And Coventry.
Coventry,
It took Leeds as well, didn't it? A few seasons to get out of League One back to the Championship as well. You know, so there's no guarantee you're going to come straight back up.
No,
none at all.
No, definitely not. Listen, especially with the more football goes on year by year, the money in the Premier League is obviously ridiculous. So the filter of player coming down from the Championship from the Premier League to the Championship to League One 6, 10, 11 years ago, there's players in the Championship that have probably played every week in the Premier League. But with the money now and just going and buying foreign players and the influx of foreigners in the Premier League, the standards filtering down and the leagues are extremely tough. So there's no certainty you're going to come back up. As you mentioned, Sunderland, a massive club with 50,000 fans regularly. It's there.
I've got a message from Lee Clark as well. He's just said, "You're the only player I tried to sign for every club I managed. Even my kids sign him on FIFA." That's a nice message, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's really nice.
That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
I went back to Bury just really for him as well. I went back to and played with him played under him at Bury as well.
Yeah, it's so sad and tragic to see what happened to them as well. Obviously,
Shocking.
Absolutely awful.
Shouldn't happen in this. That shouldn't happen in this day and age. You know, they need to sort out the good. Sorry, Paul.
Yeah, they should.
I think people just take over those clubs, obviously the low down leagues, and just trying to make a penny. And if it doesn't work, they've got no affection towards the club at the end. It's horrible. Yeah, it ripped that town apart. It's really sad.
Yeah, horrible. Yeah, and having played in both League One and the Championship, would you say the difference in quality between the two leagues is similar to the Championship and the Premier League, or is there not that much of a gap?
No, I think in the next 18 months, 2 years, I think the gap between the Championship and League One will be huge strictly because of the salary cap. Yeah, because of the salary cap. League One. So, for instance, Sunderland could potentially still bring players on amazing money for this level, but they can't now because they're under $2.5 million salary cap. So I just think if this is still the case next year, the gap between the Championship and League One is going to be huge, just down to the standard of player. But when I first went to Birmingham, the gap was I thought the gap was quite big, to be honest. The standard in the Championship was brilliant, and remember the first year, and it still is. There's obviously some great clubs, but I think the first year I was in the Championship, there was maybe only 3, 4, 5 max teams that hadn't actually been in the Premier League.
And who was your team growing up, Paul, and your favourite, your sort of footballing hero? I'm guessing Celtic, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I was a Celtic fan. Grew up a Celtic fan, massive. All my family support them, and my hero was probably when I was younger. It was nothing to do with my position. It was Henrik Larsson was. At the time when I watched it was unbelievable. And I'm actually glad that he probably done Scottish when he went to Barcelona and Man United and still set those leagues alight and was unbelievable. But yeah, he was the one.
Yeah, great player.
I
Yeah,
thought,
they're a
I
good
thought you were
side
going
then.
to say, I thought you were going to say Oliver Tebley then.
Oh, I remember his first game for Celtic. He wore one white boot and one black boot. I can always remember that about him. Yeah, he was at Birmingham for a bit as well, wasn't
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
he was.
yeah. He's a hero at the Blues. Yeah, he's a great
Yeah.
player for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Celtic had a good side then, didn't they? Late 90s, early 2000s. Great
Yeah,
team.
very good. So my first year as a young pro, so we had to wash the boots and clean the kit and stuff like that. And I keep going on about personalities. Listen, I keep going on about personalities in football because I'll be honest, there's no big personalities in football anymore. It's gone. Those days are gone with these big personalities. So back then it was like Henrik Larsson, Chris Sutton, Neil Lennon. Do you ever remember the guy Bobo Baldi?
Yeah.
Remember him, no?
Yeah.
He had muscles in it. He was that big, he had muscles in his ears. He was an absolute unit. Just big personalities like that. Craig Bellamy, John Hartson. But just to this day, that's the upbringing that I think youngsters miss now. They don't do any kit or boots or anything like that, but that is what it is.
Yeah, sure.
Chris? I mean, it's sorry. I was going to say it's just so depressing about the fans. Like I said earlier, it's just the big worry is Pete. The big worry is Pete. You are worried about people turning their back on it for good, not just the kids, but people getting out of the habit of going. And I hope I'm wrong, but
I'll be honest. I absolutely hate it. I hate it. I'm as I said, 32 now, so I've played. My first game was probably 18, 19, 14 years with supporters, and it's actually like so. Right now, if you talk at Swindon, we're going through a tough time, and it's about experienced players trying to help everyone else through all the rest of it. But believe it or not, it's actually suiting the young lads because these young lads, like experienced players, feed off supporters. We do. Like I feed off supporters. You'd see me at Birmingham. Some of the things I would do just to wind supporters up. Like I enjoy that. That gets that bit of adrenaline from me. But listen, you come out the dressing room now. You walk down the tunnel. You come onto the pitch, and it's like a big sponge. It's just It's just drains you. It's just not great. It suits the youngsters right now because they're not used to playing in front of these fans and like under 23s and stuff like that. But I absolutely hate it. I miss supporters so much.
The best analogy. Sorry, Mark. The best analogy I came up with on the show previously for that, Paul, was it's like watching Strictly Come Dancing without the music.
Yeah, you're right. I know. It is. I absolutely hate it, and I hate saying that because I don't want to come across that like I'm not grateful that I'm still playing, but I'd just be so much more grateful playing in front of supporters. That's what I grew up to do. I grew up to be a footballer, but you grow up with you don't dream of scoring the winning goal and turning around and nobody been in the stands. You dream of that being you hear that roar like I've done it Bolton and stuff like that. It's
I bet it feels like you've gone. Yeah, does it feel like you've gone back 20 years and you're playing over the park with your mates?
It genuinely does at times. It does.
Yeah.
You still when that whistle blows, you still want to. You give 100%. That's just a given. But just at times where just silly things like decisions by referees can be like we just no wall penalty the other day. But I know for a fact there's fans in the stadium would have got it. Just little things like that. But it's tough. It genuinely is.
But even as fans watching it at home on the telly, it's like I don't know about you, Mark, but I forget where I am when I'm watching the Blues, especially when we score. And I'm jumping up and down when Hogan scores Saturday. I'm going absolutely mental in my house. My daughter's like, Daddy, will you just calm down a bit, please? And it just don't. I'm not used to that. I'm used to jumping up. It's that time where you escape and you can go nuts in the stadium when we score, but when you're at home, you just forget that your wife and daughter are there, and you just go into a different world, don't you, when you're watching the game?
Yeah,
it's just different. Even the build up, like driving to the game and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you can now leave 10 minutes before you need to meet because there's never any traffic. There's no build up. You turn up, the stadium's empty. There's like 2 security people. I could go on all day. I don't want to sound ungrateful. I absolutely hate it. I don't know if you've got the gist of that.
I mean, like I say, I miss. You miss walking up the Digbeth, walking up the hill towards the Blues. You miss walking up to the Tilton Roads. Seeing all your friends and all that. And oh God, it's horrible. It's so depressing and it's sad. I mean, for you, Paul.
Even that guy's dulcet tones as well, walking up the Coventry Road. Made in Brook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Made in
Dave.
Brook, yeah.
Made in Brook.
Yeah.
Ludo's fans in.
Yeah. You missed
Good
Nick.
old Dave Thomas,
We missed Nick buying a beer as well.
Yeah.
That's like it never happened. Someone's asked, can you ask Paul if he wishes he had more international appearances for Scotland, and how proud was he getting onto the pitch for the senior team while at Birmingham?
Oh, that's an absolute no-brainer. Yeah, I'd have loved more international caps. I've been in about 6-7 squads, but I only ever made the pitch once. But listen, I'm very grateful for that, because there's millions of people there that have never done that, and I was only on the pitch for 4 minutes, but at those 4 minutes, I tell myself I was one of the best players in Scotland for that 4 minutes, because I was playing for Scottish national team.
Yeah,
and I'll be
Amazing.
forever proud of it. And as I mentioned, the Birmingham shirt I've also got my Scotland shirt as well, and it's the pinnacle of your career, isn't it? It's your national team.
Who was the manager when you played? Who was the manager when you played?
The manager was Gordon Strachan.
Gordon Strachan.
Okay, yeah.
I was in the squad under Craig Levine a couple of times, and then Gordon Strachan took over. Gordon Strachan gave my debut at Celtic, and he was a manager.
Yeah. And going back to your time with us, then, you got any funny stories you can tell us from, like, in the dressing room or amongst the squad? Any good pranks or anything like that? There must have been loads.
Yeah, there was always stuff. To be honest, I was probably always the one that ended up being the daft one that ended up doing stuff. I remember when there's a hot tub in the home dressing room, and do you know the foam bar shower gel?
Yeah.
So we're just just carrying on. You can imagine, you know what the ending of this story is. We're just carrying on, and I ended up squirting a bit of that in. And honest to God, the dressing room was full of bubbles. But it got quite serious, and I ended up getting called upstairs. And listen, you can't do this. You can break the filter and stuff like that. I swear to God, it was like a foam party. Boys are coming in off the pitch, going, what's going on in here? Just bubbles everywhere. So I think what others. There was always, listen, we were always up to something. I was always up to something. I loved the banter off the pitch. Like, this is why another reason I'm hating it right now. We're not allowed in the dressing room with each other unless it's a match day. I just miss all that camaraderie we used to. We had the dartboard in there, like Gary Rowett and his staff used to come down and play against us after training at darts. Just that genuine, like, camaraderie with everybody. Big Ziggy was always good. Trying to think, there was just always something going on, but I'm trying to think if there was anything major.
Somebody's just asked. Again, asking whether Zig paying for him, is it true? Do you know what that means?
Oh, I heard all those rumours.
Go on.
Go on. No, there was all these
Ziggy funded it. Yeah.
So I came my first year on loan, if you remember right, and then I had to go back to Swindon because there was all those financial issues, and Lee Clark was calling me every 2 days, keep me updated, and it got to the stage where it was dead. So a week left of the window, it was completely dead, and I was genuinely gutted. I was like, so I was on my way to Blackpool, actually physically driving up the M6 to Blackpool, and I spoke to Alex Ray, the assistant manager at Blackpool, and it was just something that didn't sit right with me. And thankfully, I just had this feeling. I was like, nah. So I didn't sign there. But then Lee Clark had called me and said, listen, we've managed to fork up some money. We've agreed a deal with Swindon. And then all these rumours come out that it was Ziggy that paid for it. So, no, I don't think that's true. I wish it was, because I'd love to have spent some of his money.
especially being Scottish. Yep, of course.
Exactly. I'd never seen a £50 note until Ziggy had pulled his wallet out.
Paul, what's the funniest thing you've ever seen during a game, like during a live game? Anything anyone's, like, the funniest thing you maybe seen a teammate do, or an opponent, or from the fans, or anything like that? It's going to sound as if I'm always talking about myself here, but
no.
There's a clip on Soccer AM. Do you ever remember me fall against Charlton, one of the last games of the season? So Michael Morrison's got the ball, and I'm backtracking to try and get it. And
and you fall over.
My foot gets caught in my laces, and I fall over. And I remember just like Morrow had the ball and stopped. He kind of laughed, and then I turned around. Gary Ribbett's laughing, and everybody's killing themselves laughing. But trying to think during a game. Nah, nothing that funny. I remember like some like major incidents and stuff like that, like the Forest game where, listen, it was funny at the time, but Assombalonga punches the ball off the line in the last minute, and Gary Ribbett's going mad. It's a penalty. And the reason we got that penalty was because Stuart Pearce had said to Ribbett, "Yes, Stonewall penalty." He was a manager at Forest at the time. Yeah. Just about as the corners come in, he said to Gary Ribbett, "It's a Stonewall penalty. Like, you can see that, but I don't know how he's not seen it." So Gary Ribbett shouted to the fourth official. Even he says it's a penalty. So then the fourth officials radioed through to the referee and said, "I think that was a penalty, by the way." So Nottingham Forest managers got us a penalty to defeat them.
Didn't he get sacked as well? He got sacked straight after that, didn't he?
He might have done, yeah.
Maybe that's why.
He got himself sacked.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Someone's just said, did you ever play in a Celtic Rangers match? An Old Firm game?
I played the last 20 minutes in an Old Firm, left back under Tony Mowbray. At Ibrox, so it's good that I could just, like, I was on the bench for loads of them. Back then in Scotland, to be honest, a lot of time I was probably on the bench by default, because in Scotland you had to have 2 under-21 players on the bench at the time. So I was always one of them, so I was always on it. But then in the end up, I deserved my place there, because I ended up getting moved into the first team dressing room and stuff like that. And I played, I came on the last 20 minutes. I think we lost away to Rangers, but that's another thing. And I said, when I'd say right now, if my career was to finish tomorrow, then there's a lot of things that I'm so proud of, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You played against Barcelona as well, didn't you?
Yeah, that was my home debut at Celtic, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah,
home
Champions
debut,
League. Home debut, the last 16 in Champions League. I know it was. Yeah. But I just knew, listen, I've never, ever been one for getting nervous. I never get nervous at football matches.
I was going to say, you never got nervous?
No, never. No, genuinely never. And because I knew, even then, listen, it's a win-win situation for me. If I play well, then it's unbelievable. He's played well. And if I don't, it's my home debut against Ronaldinho, who was arguably one of the best players that's ever played the game. Messi was on the other side. So I thought, well, if I don't, then who cares? Like, So it was a win-win for me. It was unbelievable. What a night.
Yeah.
Amazing. The closest I ever got to those guys was playing them in FIFA and stuff like that. So to actually see them in the flesh and play against them was unbelievable.
Are you good at FIFA, Paul? You good at FIFA?
I don't play. No, I don't play computer games.
No.
I've got two young girls that I'm too busy having to chase after all the time. I've not got time. I don't play computer games now.
We can't get away from that game. Someone said the noise at Bolton is still remembered by Bolton fans, and they comment it's the best atmosphere they've ever had.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll do a few quick fire live questions now.
Yeah.
So earlier on, I think it was Kevin Tomlinson asked who was the best player that you played with at Blues.
That's a tough one, isn't it? The best one I played with. Yeah. There's a few. There was 6 months when John Terrell was unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
John Terrell was amazing for us for 6 months.
Yeah.
There was actually there's a dressing room one. There was actually times at half time under. Listen, we were what we were under Gary. We were very hard to play against. We were rigid. We were counter-attacking teams. And when things weren't going for us, there was genuinely times at half time where the lads would say to John Terrell, "Come on, John, you need to do something for us here." And more often than not, he would. But John Terrell was up there, was very, very good. I loved playing with Wade Elliott. Loved playing him.
He was quality.
He just always looked. I like to make that run down outside the fullback, and he always looked for that one. I just loved playing with him. So they two stick out. But I enjoyed playing with David Cottrell as well. I always try and go to the ones that I had relationships with on the pitch, and I had a great relationship with Cotts.
Yeah. Was you at Leeds in the cup game when Wade Elliott got that absolute worldie? He scored a screamer from about 30 yards.
No, so I played my first game against Peterborough, and then we played the Tuesday night against Forest, and I dislocated my shoulder at home.
Okay.
So I was out for 10 weeks, so I missed that game. Is that not the one? Did Leroy Lita score one for about 40 yards that game as well?
Yeah. That was against.
Was
That
it
was at
Ziggy or
Leeds as
something
well.
like
Yeah. Lee Watts is asking, who's the best player that you played against? Obviously, you just mentioned Ronaldinho and Messi, but
that? Yeah.
Apart from
Messi,
them.
obviously.
Apart
was,
from them pair.
apart from that, away from that Barcelona one.
They're nobody's. Oh, we don't even include them.
Going away for the back, so just trying to think of the time in the Championship to relate it to Birmingham was. I used to always find it difficult playing against Anthony Knockaert. Believe it or not. He was stronger than me. I never knew if he was going down the line, if he was coming inside. He had great feet. He could chop. He had a little dig in on me. He was good. He was a good player. Very good.
Yeah.
Always. To be honest, me and Groundsy spoke about it the other day. The only time Gary Rowett proper lost his head was at me and Jonathan Grounds was we played away to Brighton, and we used to always have a tough time against. He was solid March. March was his side, and I was Knockaert on my side, and he used to absolutely roast the Perriers.
Yeah. And Steve Jobs saying, "Tell Paul my wife's just about forgiving him for all the red wine that went on the carpet after the goal at Bolton."
See, I told you I saved some marriages.
I'm just wondering if there was a bit of a population explosion as well. It'd be quite nice to know what the figures were there.
Benji Smith's asking who had the worst fashion sense at the Blues when you was there. Who was the worst dresser?
Oh, going off just purely for the value that he earned was Ziggy. Ziggy was a bit, he was one of the big baggy trousers and stuff like that, but always had his little man bag in. There was probably about 100 grand in that man bag, but he always had it on him.
Probably a Carly Cup medal.
Yeah, Linda wants to know who was the longest in the shower. Very interesting question.
Oh.
Same old question. Same old Linda.
Yeah, she asks everybody.
Does she? I love Peter Lovenkrands
Oh right,
by a country mile. Yeah,
Peter
say no
Lovenkrands.
more.
Adam Wilkes is asking, what is Paul's favourite away ground to travel to?
I used to love Leeds. I loved it at Leeds. I liked Forest as well, to be fair, but I loved it at Leeds. The atmosphere was always brilliant. We always took away fans. Our away fans were brilliant, but I love Leeds. Yeah, I enjoyed Wolves as well. To be fair, actually, that was always a good one. Local derby. It was always tasty. Yeah, it was always. Yeah, it was good. Wolves ones were really good.
Yeah.
And then you played in the League Cup at Capital One Cup against them lot up the road, didn't you?
I did, yeah. And there's a video of me going about whistling.
I was going to ask you about that. Are you whistling a certain tune when you got?
Yeah, but
I thought you were.
It wasn't deliberate. It was just just talking about it on the bus and stuff like that, and I could hear, and I whistled it, and then somebody's put it on. I must have got caught doing it. I got into trouble for that, by the way.
Did you?
Got into trouble? Yeah.
Oh.
I went back in on the Monday or something. It was like, just basically, you've got to be aware of your surroundings and stuff like that. I was like, aye, good one.
Yeah.
I wasn't lying, was I?
Oh, crikey. So did you get a fine or anything like that? No? You didn't get a fine or anything?
No, nothing. No, just
a slap
in the wrist.
Yeah, just a slap.
Yeah.
Go on, Paul.
Ronnie Keynes is saying, do you see yourself in management one day?
Yeah, definitely. It's something I've always been, something I've always looked forward to. It's weird because the older you get, it's as if you're rushing your career away for that next phase of your life to start. But I still hope I've got a couple of years left of playing. But I'm starting to do my badges and stuff like that. I'm evaluating games completely different to what I used to. But yeah, it's something I'd definitely be interested in.
Yeah. Would you say the game's massively different now to what it was when you started playing?
Yeah, I would say at my age, 32, 33, I'm probably the last of the old school footballer. Yeah. Old school, like cleaning the dressing room, doing football boots, cleaning the boots up. Sports science took over football. There's no two ways about it. Like
it's a lot less physical.
Oh yeah.
You can't breathe on. You can't breathe on anybody now.
No.
That's it.
No. Like nowadays, it's 2-day recoveries. People come in on a Monday and want to do a recovery session. That's unheard of. Like I'd never. Do you know what I mean? It's like you play a Saturday, you have the Sunday off, you train normal Monday, but you're now getting sports scientists that are saying no, it's best if they have 48 hours rest. Then we train Tuesday,
Right.
then we have Wednesday off. It's so pampered now, honestly. I'm a footballer, and I'm saying,
Does that lead to many rows? Does that lead to any friction or any rows at the training ground or anything? You know, do you have?
depends if you win or lose.
Yeah.
if you win a sports scientist says that they need to do a recovery on the Monday, it's fine. You lose the Saturday and they ask for it takes a brave sports scientist to ask for a recovery session. So, but I don't think it should change. We used to under Gordon Strachan and Gary Pendry, we used to play a Saturday and then do an hour and a half, 2 hour session on a Monday. No problem. I don't see. I think that's a lot of the problems why. Listen, touch wood. I was very, very fortunate. I have been with injuries. The only bad injury I've had in football is a non-football related injury. I dislocated my shoulder. Never had bad knees, and I just see that many people getting injured these days with soft tissue injuries, and even in the last couple of years, is it maybe down to being pampered too much?
Yeah. I mean, even in the stands at St Andrews, obviously, when we was going, I remember saying to my dad and the people around me, there's no way, when a challenge has gone in, I've said many times, there's no way that would have been a foul going back 15 years, or even, and it's so frustrating.
Can you imagine what it's going to be like in the next? Can you imagine what it's going to be like in the next 4 or 5 years?
Well, yeah.
Soon they'll be able to tackle. It's madness.
They'll be like
madness. It's like
it'll be like
you can win the ball now, so you can clearly win the ball, but it's what your foot unnaturally does afterwards. You end up with a free kick against you. You can't help if you win the ball and your foot follow throughs. It's your momentum of your body. It's just the old school football's gone, unfortunately.
And that's what our club's all about as well. The physicality, the work. You put that shirt on and you give 110%, and flying in with the tackle and putting the player in the stand with it as well, with the ball. That's what gets the crowd going. St Andrews.
That's what the Blues. I
think that's why I had such a good relationship with the supporters. It was just I didn't fly into tackles. I didn't shy away from them, but I just think at clubs like Birmingham, it's a working man's club. Like You're happy for me to say that, and that's
we are.
And it's a working man's club. If you give 100%, the fans will back you.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I just thought that's just standard. Like I've been brought up on hard work. If you work hard, then you're halfway there. So I just always thought, like, I had crap games for Birmingham. Listen, there's times I was terrible and stuff like that, but you always get that little reprieve if you can see that you're giving 100%. That's something I've always done.
Yeah. No, you're right. That's what Blues fans do look for. They always look for the 100%, the grafter.
Yeah.
Paul, Kevin says, if you were a footballer, what other interests would he have had? Have you got any other interests outside football, and what would you have done, basically?
No, I don't have any other interests. I left school at 15 and went straight in full time at Celtic. So I don't know. I'm trying to think what I was good at school. Maths, I was all right at maths. Yeah. So it's an unbelievable mathematician.
They could work out Ziggy's wages.
That's a good one.
I managed to work the percentage of how much he paid.
There's a good one here from Sam Mullet. He just said, was the squad gutted when Gary Rowett got the sack, and what were people's first opinion of Zola, Gianfranco Zola?
Oh yeah, great question.
So it's a good question. So we won the Tuesday. No, did we draw 2 each for Tuesday?
No, we won 1-0. We won
1-0, yeah. But there was rumours building up to it that had been a fallout, and we had caught onto that in the dressing room. But listen, we'd never ever thought that was going to happen, never. And then we came in, we got a phone call that Wednesday saying everyone's got to come in. And as soon as you get a phone call to say on your day off everyone's got to come in, you knew something's going on.
Yeah.
So we just before we even arrived, we knew he had left, and he just come in and had basically said, I'm sure, I don't know if he said it since, but I'm sure he won't mind me saying, but he just said to us, listen, the club want to go a different direction. They want him. Basically, I think what he was trying to say was the club want him to sign players. Like, their players, not his players. And I think there was too many people getting involved in, and I think he basically said, no, we're going just fine with me and my staff. I don't need anybody else involved. And he was right enough. We were going just fine. So, and Zola's first impression was first of all, you go to, when somebody like that comes in, you go to their career, don't you? So you think, what an unbelievable player he was.
Yeah.
Great career. Done well at Watford. You think, yeah, it'd be decent. And for me, I thought, yeah, this will be good for me. Like, he'll like attacking fullbacks and stuff like that. But he was honest from day one. He came in and told us, listen, the board are giving me X amount to spend. They want me to bring 9 players in. That was always the number. He said they want me to bring 9 players in. So I'm going to have to move a few years on. And I enjoyed working with him. I was only there for maybe 6 weeks or something with him. But I knew early on that I was going to be moving. Like, that I wasn't wanted. But I just wanted to wait 4 or 5 weeks to see if that would have changed. And I tried my hardest to try and change that. But it wasn't. It sounded from him. It sounded as if it didn't come from him. But it was almost like you've got this money, you're forced to spend it.
What was Zola like as a person, Paul?
Yeah, good, really good.
Yeah.
Listen, the weird thing about it was, so you had Zola and you had Casaraghi, who obviously was an unbelievable player as well, as assistant manager, and we had a first team coach called Chioffi, who the guy with kind of longer hair, and he took absolutely everything. Zola didn't take much training. Just stood at the side, Casaraghi stood at the side, and he took everything. And listen, I'm not Mourinho's perfect example. You don't have to be an unbelievable player to be a great manager, but that respect for him was less than what it was for Zola and Casaraghi, because I think the highest he had played was like Serie C in Italy, and he was coming in and doing absolutely everything. And we're kind of looking him on the pitch and then turning around and seeing Zola and Casaraghi at the side and thinking, we want this from you. Like, we want to learn from you. Yours are the pinnacle of your career was at the top level. We want to learn from you. And I think Zola maybe regret that now. I don't know. But he took everything and just changed a lot in such a short space of time. And I don't think that helped either.
No. I mean, some of the football we were playing during that time was some of it was amazing, but we just didn't get the results. Just didn't get the results, did it, ultimately?
Couldn't win a game. Just couldn't win a game. To go nine in a row or something, they just couldn't win. But yeah, as you said, they played some really good football. But as I said, there was just too much change too soon from like Gary Rowett's intense sessions, stuff like that. Like, these were Zola's sessions were intense. Like the guy that took them, Chioffi, they were intense sessions, but they were just different, and it didn't suit. Gary Rowett had bought a specific type of player. We obviously played on a counter attack. We were hard to beat, and we just we changed a lot overnight. Yeah,
sure. Yeah, strange old time that was, wasn't it? That sort of couple of years. Well, even still now, I don't even know if the club's recovered now from that sacking of Gary Rowett. To be honest, fully.
Yeah, there was 4 managers in such a short space of time, weren't there?
Gary Rowett.
Because I left that year, and I remember 4 years, and then Harry Redknapp came in for the last 2 games, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I went to the Bristol City away. I drove down to that.
I saw you.
And that reminds me as well. That reminds me. Sorry, Paul, but that reminds me. You talk about Harry Redknapp there, and he was assisted by Steve Cottrell, and obviously Steve Cottrell took over from him, and we all want to wish him a speedy recovery because he's been in intensive care with COVID, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So sorry, Paul. Carry on, mate.
Of course,
Thanks for telling me that. I forgot.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
So I went to that game that we stayed up.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Tom Ross sends his best as well, Paul.
Yeah. Okay.
Tom,
Someone said, "What was your favourite match under the floodlights?" Can you remember a favourite match under the floodlights?
Probably that one I alluded to earlier with the Nottingham Forest one last minute.
The first game
to beat them. That was that was under the floodlights, and obviously just getting a last minute goal added to it. But I used to listen. Everybody loved playing under the floodlights, but I genuinely loved playing at St Andrews. Yeah, I just always had a good feeling there, and especially under like Gary Rowett, we just got that good momentum going, and we're turning up. And I think I alluded to it earlier, like then we were going well right up to February, March. We were there or thereabouts, and we just lacked that little bit of probably an extra couple of players, maybe a little bit of quality. But then again, when I think about it, I think that teams started coming to St Andrews and respecting us, and maybe started sitting in, and we weren't the type of team to go and break teams down. We like teams to come and try and break us down and catch them on the counter.
Yeah.
So maybe we struggled a bit with that.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Who would you say had the biggest influence on your career at Blues, Paul?
Off the pitch, completely away from the pitch, was I used to speak to Gary Pendry a lot about the club. Obviously, he knows a lot about the club. But on the pitch, when I first got there, Stephen Caldwell was really good with me. Really good. Curtis Davis was really good with me. Two of them were brilliant with me, just making me feel welcome, making me feel part of the group, making me feel as if I was as good as everybody else and I should be there, coming from League 2 and League 1. And just, they two, probably because I played beside them as well, the two of them were centre-halves, they were really vocal. They two were a massive influence on me. Yeah, brilliant. That's good. Right.
Paul, we've got a little competition that we do now and again. We call it...
Do you remember that, Paul? Do you remember that, Paul, when there was a sub made at St Andrews and they announced the player and the fans go, who?
Yeah.
They go.
All the time, mate.
They go. That's right. Okay, so we want you and our audience to try and work out. This is.
The dressing room's quite down at the moment. For me personally, very disappointed. A tough start for us today in the game, and we're disappointed with the way. Well, with the result, definitely. I think it's.
Should we let our viewers? Have a go?
Do you think you know it, Paul?
I think I do. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I do.
Let's see if they can suss it out anyway.
Okay. Tell us the first letter of his second name.
M.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that gives everybody a clue.
These are too easy. These are, Paul. You'll have to.
Everybody's saying Gary Monk. It's not Monk.
No, it's not Monkey.
No.
Margaret Thatcher, says Jason Hughes.
Oh yeah, somebody else says Gary Monk now as well. Yeah.
No, it's not Gary Monk.
No, it's not Gary Monk. Please stop saying it's Gary.
Should we play it once more, Chris? Should we play it once more for everyone?
Here we go. Oops.
One more time.
For me personally, very disappointed. A tough start for us today in the game, and we're disappointed with the way. Well, with the result, definitely. I think it's.
I can see the Gary Monk bit in that.
I can see the Gary Monk thing as well there. Yeah, but it's not Gary Monk.
Yeah, especially at the beginning, but they're all. And they're still all
Shall
saying Monk.
Yeah, while people are having a go, then Paul, should we do You've done a 1 to 11, have you? Players you played with for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Come on then, Paul.
Was that tough? Was it tough?
It was tough, yeah, because listen, I've seen a lot of the players you've had on, and they're one to 11s, obviously unbelievable players. But I played with more like industrious, hard-working players. Like at my time, obviously with the financial situation and stuff like that, so it's not quite as glamorous as everybody else's. But it was all right. So in goals, I went Daz Randolph, which was tough because I had the first year I was there was Jack Butland. And then when I finished, it was Tommy Crack, who were both very good. But Daz, particularly in that season, made some unbelievable saves, kept us in. He's a great guy off the pitch, worked really hard. And I really enjoyed it. He was one of those goalies where if the back four got broke and somebody broke through it, I always had a feeling that he would make a save, he would pull us out of the water. And he'd done that on many occasions and enjoyed him. Yeah.
I thought he was a very good goalkeeper.
He was
a really good goalkeeper, and he obviously moved on to West Ham and then he went to Middlesbrough as well, didn't he, for 5 million?
Right.
Yeah, and then back to West Ham, didn't he? He went from Middlesbrough, West Ham, then back to West Ham.
And he's Ireland's number one.
Right back, I've went obviously.
Go on.
Yeah,
carry on.
Yeah. Right back's a bit of a controversial one for me because I don't play right backs, but when I first went to the club, I've never played with this guy, but he was there at the club, so that's what I'm going for. Stephen Carr, who, by the way, actually come to think about it, was a massive influence for me as well when I turned up. Just having to fill somebody's boots like that, who I knew the fans loved, and obviously quality first and foremost. But he was a great guy off the pitch with me, brilliant. Talk me through games, tell me what I'd done well, tell me what he'd done in these situations, and he was brilliant. So great leader as well. Like never, as I said, never played with him, but he was a proper leader.
You want him in your side.
He'll go down in folklore. He's another one that will go down in folklore, obviously, as the captain of the League Cup winning team.
Yeah, listen, he was brilliant. He was behind everything behind the scenes. He was at the front of everything. Even when obviously there's bad injury and stuff like that, he was brilliant. So I went with Carey as right back. I think I've went with Carey as my skipper as well, actually.
Yeah.
Just for those reasons I just mentioned there, he was captain of the club rather than captain of the team. I find these days you get team captains, but he was a club captain. He looked after everything.
Yeah.
So centre halves, I've went Curtis Davis and Paul Robinson. Curtis Davis because he was the one that played inside me. Obviously, right centre half was very vocal, very encouraging, great defender. Don't get me wrong, brilliant defender, but when he used to come out dribbling, he was like Bambi on ice at times, wasn't he? There's those big dangly legs, and you just think, oh, where's he going here?
Yeah.
But no, honestly, such a nice man, great guy off the pitch as well. Massive help, as I mentioned earlier, was a massive influence on me. Robbo, just for obvious reasons, another great leader, another club captain, not one of these team captains. Robbo was one of those guys that if you needed a bollock, he'd give you a bollock, but if you needed a cuddle, he would give you a cuddle, and he knew exactly when to do it, and when it was. He just had that knack. He was just, obviously everybody remembers his story coming to the club. I think he initially came when I got injured, so I'd done my shoulder, and I think he came in and played. He played a couple of games at right back, I'm sure, and he only came in he just came in training originally, and that just shows you the type of guy he is. He came in, and then 6-7 years later or something, he was still at the club. So yeah, Robbo was another great influence. Left back, as we touched on earlier, I've went. Listen, everybody will probably say it's a friend's act, but I've went Jonathan Grounds because he was the one I played with most. I played with Murph, who was a great player. David Murphy, a great player, but unfortunately, great player. Unfortunately, he was injured a lot, so I only played with him 8-9 games. And it's just that first season. So the mainstay was Groundsy, as I touched on earlier. That I enjoyed playing with him because it gave me that license to get forward that bit more, because he liked to play the game from behind, didn't overlap as much as I did. Was clever on the ball, good defender, a bit one of those unsung heroes that nobody really. And as you said earlier, like scapegoat at times, but he was big enough and strong enough, and he was a good servant for the club. Great servant. Yeah. So I'm going to go 4-4-2. So right side was very tough on me because this is the ones that I had the closest relationships with. Chris Burke, on and off the pitch, I had a great relationship. Burke was brilliant, inside, outside, but just through the volume of games that I played with Cots, I'm going to have to say David Cottrell, because we had a great relationship. I knew when to go around him, I knew when to stay with him. Used to work. I done as much work for him forward as he did for me backwards. He used to work the winger back for me, come back and help me. I'd help him going forward. We just had a great relationship, a great respect for each other, and I enjoyed playing with him. Another one who was very good.
Yeah, some of his free kicks as well, and set pieces. Set pieces.
His crossing. He used to do this weird thing when Koch used to cross. He used to always cross without giving the fullback a chance of ever getting it. So he used to run and knock the ball diagonally to his right, and then cross from like.
And then he was
great. He was great at his delivery and stuff like that. Was great. Centre mid, I'm going for players that suited me more than anything. So I've went for Stephen Gleeson and Wade Elliott, with an honourable mention to David Davis as well. I love playing with Digger. Digger was, we used to call him Bowser. You know Bowser for Mario?
Yeah.
We used to call him Bowser. He was just, that's what we used to call him. He was just so strong, powerful, such a powerful runner. Great lad, knew the club inside out. Used to love playing him. But Stephen Gleeson, again, as I mentioned, I like to get forward, as obviously you've seen with myself and Cots. And Gleeson always knew that he had to be in that kind of gap if it broke down to cover me, basically. So he always knew, and he always tried to make myself and Cots on the ball. We'd always try and play down our side, and it was like a comfort blanket for me and Cots. He was just always there in a position for us to go and try and do our stuff going forward. So him on that right side of in the middle, and Wade Elliott on the other side. Again, Wade used to pick the ball up from the left back or the left midfielder, and as soon as I seen him come inside, I knew I could bomb. As soon as I bombed, he'd always try and play that one in behind, and 9 times out of 10, his passing range was ridiculous, amazing.
Brilliant. Yeah.
He was always get me on. He could score a goal. He was feisty. He used to go into tackles, silly at times, but he was feisty. Great passer, nice lad again, great proper pro, top pro off the pitch. So they two in the middle. Left is obviously a Birmingham prodigy and Damari Gray.
Damari,
yeah. The thing I liked about Dimmy most was, listen, young lads that got a lot of hype these days and a lot of speculation can go to their head. Dimmy had this well and truly his 2 feet on the ground. Smashing lad, great lad. Even when I remember the story when he was going to Leicester. I'm trying to think who signed. Was it Ranieri that signed him at Leicester?
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah. So Ranieri and somebody else, some British, I don't know if it was Craig Shakespeare or whoever it was there at the time had called him and said, listen, this is what we're going to do, we're going to play here. And the deal still hadn't went through, but him knowing that he was going to Leicester at that time, stuff like that, he kept his 2 feet on the ground. He was a great lad. He was always willing to listen, always willing to learn, always doing extra, and couldn't be happier for somebody like him to go on and do what he'd done. He's a smashing lad, and listen, I don't even need to say much about his ability. He went on and won the Premier League with Leicester, but again, could go inside, could go outside, not favourably, but he was that quick. He could get past somebody and outside, then cut inside. It suited us to a T. The way we played under Gary Rowett, especially with counter-attacking, with him going rapid, Cottrell going rapid, with Jack Magoma, who was quick as well. The two of them were different for Courts. That was a good thing, that Dimmy was a dribbler, would try and link up with people, would try and get take players on and stuff like that. Courts was the other side, would stay wide, cross the ball, work 1-2s with me, etc. So it was a good balance to have on either side. The two up top, there was only really 3-4 mainstay strikers that I'd played with at Birmingham. Peter Lovencrans and Kingy were the first two. Marlon King were the first two that I'd really played with strongly. Ziggy was there at the time as well, but I've went with Ziggy and Clayton Donaldson. Clates was massive for the way we played. I know we talked about the counter attack when we were pegged in, and teams were copies and wingers, as I mentioned, worked really hard, got back in to help the fullbacks out. Our outball at times was Clayton Donaldson against 3-4 defenders, and for some reason he always got there. He either got a foul, he got the first touch, got us up the pitch. He used to run channels like chasing chickens. Honestly, he could catch a chicken, Clayton Donaldson. He was unbelievable. Put the ball down the side, he would get there, strong in there, scored goals. Just purely for work ethic, clever, but another great lad. No big ego, nothing. Worked hard, and he was a joy to play with at times because he got us up the pitch. And I just had this knack with Clates. I knew where he was running, when he was running, and I used to just put the ball down the side all the time for him, and I knew he was going to get there, and he got us up the pitch. So yeah, Clates and Big Ziggy. More the first year I was there under Ziggy, for the first couple of years, I was actually surprised at how good Ziggy was with the ball at his feet. Ziggy actually used to say, I'd prefer you. So looking at him, he's 12'8" or whatever he is. So you just initially think, I'm just going to have to put it up high for him. But no, he always said to me, because I used to like that reverse one into the striker. When I used to see him, I used to think twice about it, just because he was a big guy, and I used to think he's going to want it there. And he used to say, no, I want it to my feet. And then I didn't know too much about him, and then it turns out, obviously, him and David Villa were strike partners at Valencia and stuff like that. So you think, listen, the guy was obviously very good with his feet to play there. But Ziggy was, again, off the pitch. I was actually really close with Ziggy. He was a really good guy. Probably because he paid for me to come back to the club, mind you.
Did you still talk to him at all? Are you still in contact with Ziggy or not? Or?
No, I've not. To be honest, I've not spoke to him for not like maybe about a year. I've not spoke to him, but I used to see him a lot in Solihull and stuff like that, and I knew he was hanging about for citizenship for his kids and stuff like that. And
Yeah, that's right.
But
yeah.
actually, I seen him when Scotland, believe it or not, when we qualified to go to the Euros when we beat Serbia. He was on the bench. I think he must be a coach at Serbia now.
Coach, yeah, he's part of the coach, yeah.
He's a coach, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good team though. That is
So,
Paul. Really good team. That is.
Yeah, listen, as I said, it's not glamorous. It's industrious. It's effective. I would say all of them would give 100%.
Oh yeah, you know that none of them players are going to leave. They're going to leave everything on the pitch, aren't they? Every one of them.
Yeah.
Ray just mentioned
just
regarding...
can't play Ziggy a Saturday and a Tuesday.
Yeah, Ray's just mentioned regarding Ziggy. He says those goals he scored away at Leeds. It was unplayable. Absolutely unplayable, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So do you want to tell us, Paul? Do you want to tell us who the Whoies? Because everyone's saying Michael. Everyone's saying Michael Morrison, and it's not Michael Morrison. We've had many Gary Monks. It's not Gary Monk. So do you want to? Who do you think it is, Paul?
I hope I'm right.
Yeah,
I'm right. Is it Hayden Mullins?
It is indeed.
Yeah. I'll just play it again.
By the way, he was another very good player.
Me personally, very disappointed. A tough start for us today in the game, and
there you go. So well done, Paul.
Didn't we call him back? He was out on loan somewhere, wasn't he? And we called him back to play against Bolton at centre half.
Yeah, I was going to say Hayden Mullins' first game back from loan was centre half, and he was unbelievable that game. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, he was a good lad as well. Proper good player. Played in the Prem and that. Then he was a good player as well.
Yeah. So when sorry, I was going to say when you was at Blues, did you actually live in Solihull?
I stayed in Dickens Heath.
Oh, okay,
I stayed there for the 5 years I was there. I stayed there, and then eventually, actually, my last year at the club, I stayed in Colin Doyle's house. I moved to Colin Doyle's house when he left.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I stayed in his. Yeah.
Okay.
And nobody believes that was Hayden Mullins all the way. So, Craig's just said that was one battling team. That would be. And Graham's just says, was Paul there? And what did you think of Jack Storer? Was he?
Listen, Jack Storer had something. Jack Storer was a good player, but similar to different scales of quality to Ravel Morrison, but similar. It was just something that didn't quite work for Jack at any club at football. I just think it was a mentality. It was difficult for him, but he was a good player. He wasn't actually a bad lad, but he just couldn't. I think it was the Wolves game he got sent off, didn't he?
Yeah, against Wolves.
He played Wolves. He got sent off. Something silly. I think he must have kicked out or punched somebody or something. But that was just him. But he was a good player. But just unfortunately, sometimes in football, your attitude is far superior to your ability.
Yeah. I went to the friendly at Kidderminster. The pre-season himself. He scored a hat trick, didn't he, against Kidderminster? And
he did.
Some of his finishing in that game was top draw.
Yeah, it's a shame.
His finishing, he was a great finisher. As I said, he was a great player. Very good ability. And Gary Rowett tried everything with him. Tried to give him every opportunity. Tried to seek help for him. Richard Beale was unbelievable with him. He tried to seek psychiatrists and stuff like that, but it wasn't to be, unfortunately.
Being a hard Scotsman, what are his thoughts on players that wear snoods and gloves?
And headphones as well, Paul.
Oh no, headphones. No.
Headphones, I know.
Oh, it's a good job.
Because I'm in a flat, I know. Listen, I'm not a massive fan of it, but it's especially in games. I don't understand why people wear gloves in games. It shouldn't be allowed. I'm not snoods and gloves in training, fine, but I don't like hats in training and stuff like that. I don't think you should wear hats in training. You've got to head the ball at times. I'm old school though, and people tell me that every day at Swindon. I'm old school.
We haven't talked too much about what you're doing now, and people ask you, are you at Swindon and so forth, and that's where you are.
Yeah, I'm back at Swindon. As people always say, never go back to a place you had success. But I came back and had success again, and another club. Another club I've got a great relationship with. Had great times here. I'm now the first player in the club's history to win 2 league titles. So Yeah. So another great achievement for me. I'm so proud of that. But it's not went too well this season so far. But hopefully we can pick up.
Yeah, nice little family club. Swindon is nice little tight
it's good.
little ground.
Yeah,
Nice little ground. I like it. Yeah.
Apart from when they're beating us 6-4.
Oh yeah.
All right.
There was a game, Paul, back in the early 90s, when we were 4-1 up at half time against. We were 4-1 up. It was when Glenn Hoddle was the Swindon player manager.
Yeah.
And we were 4-1 up at half time.
Was that the Premier League?
No.
No.
It was what is now the Championship, wasn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
And we were 4-1 up at half time, and he got changed second half and come on, didn't he? And the Beatles 6-4.
6-4,
the county ground?
No,
Blues.
Blues.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Glenn Hoddle, supposedly, wasn't he?
God, we've had some horrible days.
The real game, that was.
Yeah.
We talked about this briefly before we went on air as well. After the 8-0 defeat from Bournemouth, what did Rowett say to get the team firing?
Honestly, the first thing he come in and said was, "This is the first and last time I'll mention the game," and it was literally, "The game has gone. I can't affect it. You can't affect it, and I will never go back to it. I'll never talk about it. It's finished. We start now. Every single player's got a clean slate." He was very, very good in his first training session. He came in and stamped his mark straight away, to the point where, as I said, we come in on the Wednesday and we trained under him. He had to give us a Thursday off. That the session was that intense, and he had to do it. He just had to stamp his authority straight away. Bang. So you just had bang straight away. You've got his respect. He's got your respect straight away. You think, well, and listen, I loved working under Gary Rowett. He was one of those managers. He never ranted and raved, but he just had this thing: win, lose or draw. Every 8th, 9th, 10th game, he'd come in and have a little go, and you'd think, well, he'd stand up a bit. Win, lose or draw. He just had this. He just kept us on his toes constantly. But yeah, he never mentioned the 8-0 game at all. Just, and I think his first game we went and drew. So we lost 8-0, and then we went and drew 0-0 with Wolves, didn't we?
0-0 Wolves,
Yeah.
He was a great player for us as well, Paul. Do you remember him as a player?
Yeah, I don't remember him as a player, but I'd seen a lot of clips with him, obviously, when he came to the club and stuff like that. And yeah, he was a fullback, wasn't he?
Right back. Right back or centre half. Yeah, he was excellent.
Such a good right foot. You know, he rarely wasted a pass. He was
solid defender. Did he get involved in training as well? Did he ever go himself?
Not really. No, not really. He took everything. Him and the assistant, Kevin Summers. The two of them took everything. But the manager was. So from day one, we'd done a lot of like back four work and shape, and you could probably tell that obviously the results we started getting. But no, we always had Gary Rowett changed to Thursdays off, so we'd be in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday would be like a kind of lighter session. The Tuesday, Wednesday would be intense sessions. His sessions were intense. Loved working under him.
Didn't you have a penalty shootout competition against him as well, or someone? Yeah, I remember that. Was that for Blues TV or something?
Staff against players, I think the staff beat us actually. It was for Blues TV.
Okay. Kevin Pooh says this is a really nice comment. He says, "Many remember you for the goal up at Bolton, and rightly so. But I always remember you as a top attacking right back who was also a decent defender." Nice comment there from Kevin.
Yeah, appreciate that. Nice.
Question for Paul: what's your favourite boots? What type of boots do you like?
I keep going on about being old school. I just, believe it or not, that the game I played for Scotland, the 4 minutes, I was the only player on the pitch to have the same pair of boots as the referee and the two linesmen. I'm proper old school. I'm always black boots. I like old school black Puma Kings.
Traditional,
yeah. I've always been black boots. So yeah, probably Puma Kings.
Yeah. Do you know what drives me mad as well, Paul? When you're watching the football on the TV now and the players are talking to each other coming off the pitch and they're doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
What's that all about?
It's as if they don't want the cameras to pick them up. They're maybe harming their manager, I don't know.
It's just come into it in the last few years. I don't get it.
I know. I don't get it either.
I don't get it. No.
So many questions tonight I haven't been able to keep up. Balti pies, yes or no?
For me, yeah.
Yeah, Balti
Yeah, I like
pies,
a
yeah.
ball pie, yeah.
Balti
Yeah.
pie, oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Going back to Jack Storer, Storer got sent off, then took it out on the advertising hoardings, walking off the pitch. I was there. That's his advert.
Yeah, it's a shame it never worked out for him because he's finishing. I mean, I remember thinking at Kidderminster, we got a player here.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I think that was the final. I think that was the final straw for him. That game. I remember Gary Rowett actually coming in after the game and not saying anything to him, and I think that said more than actually having a go at him. So sometimes less is more in it.
Yeah. Brenda Brown's asking, what did Paul feel like when us Blue Noses sang "Keep Right On" to the end of the road? So as a player on the pitch, how does it feel when you hear the best anthem in football belted out?
Yeah, I used to love it. As I said, that was the first thing I heard when Ziggy scored that goal, and it was it's just one of those tunes that you just makes the hairs in your neck stand up, doesn't it? And
especially being Scottish as well. It's like traditional Scottish element there, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Makes it even better, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Sid just says, would you love to manage the Blues one day?
That'd be an absolute dream, yeah. It was a dream for me. I'm not going to lie here and say I was a massive Birmingham fan, because I wasn't. I didn't know anything about the club until I came there, but it's just one of those clubs that it just does something to you, doesn't it? You've followed them all your life, you'll know better than me, but yeah, I'd love to manage them, yeah. I'd love to manage them. And I'm going off my living there. I don't expect a world-class team. It would just be a team that will run about.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, sorry, Mark. Go on, Mark.
I was going to say, there's always been that connection when players who aren't necessarily fans or from the area. I mean, like you said, Paul, you was at Bristol, and I saw you up there, and then you see other players at away games sometimes, or even at home games, and all of a sudden, like Jeff Horsfield, I mean, Horse wasn't a Blues fan, but he just converted big time, and there's always that connection,
Yeah.
I
would have probably been back. I would have been back a lot more, especially now being at Swindon. I'm not far, but obviously with the COVID and stuff like that, and obviously having my own games and stuff. But yeah, you just get that. I've just got that connection with the club that I just think I'll always have. I loved my time there, and I enjoyed it, and I had a good rapport with the fans and stuff like that. So yeah, it was good.
We've got a good question here from Simon Andrews, who's our current coach driver for the club. He's asking, who did you sit with on the team coach? Who did you sit next to?
Down the front, it was me and Robbo next to each other, and then Lee Novak and Colin Doyle. And Colin Doyle could honestly eat you out of house and home. He used to just sit on his iPad, earphones in, watch his iPad, and you just see this big, huge hand every so often, just grabbing a mouthful of sweeties. He was an absolute gannet. But yeah, that was a four at the table. Me, Robbo, Noves, and Colin Doyle for a good few years.
Yeah.
Football. We're running out of time here, but footballing heroes, Paul. Who was your footballing hero?
When I was younger, I used to. Henrik Larsson was the one for me. Following Celtic. But then as I got a bit older and I started looking at players, and people probably laugh at this, but I used to really like watching Gary Neville, because obviously he was at Man United, and I know he's went on and obviously the Sky Sports pundit now, and he's a laugh and a joke, but he had a hell of a career. I think a lot of people forget that. He did have a hell of a career, and
he did.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of and I really enjoyed watching him as that position.
Yeah, he was a top player, Gary Neville, brilliant player.
Yeah.
Have you ever met him, Paul?
Yeah.
Have you ever met him?
No, I've seen him. I've sat like a couple of rows. So when I left Blackburn, I went a couple of weeks without a club, and I just enjoy football. So I started going and watching some local games at Fylde. I stay in Lytham, so I was going to Fylde games, and they were playing against Salford, and I sat a couple of rows away from him. But I've never actually met him, no.
Mm-hmm. And who would you say is the best manager you've ever played for in your whole career?
The one I probably learnt most from, probably because we were younger as well, was Gordon Strachan. Gordon Strachan's coaching wise was unbelievable. Di Canio was another one that was his coaching was amazing. Knew the game inside out. But it's weird because this question gets asked a lot: who the best you worked under? And I loved working under Gordon Strachan, but there's something you take from every manager you work under. Gary Rowett, for instance, his man management and his organisation, his tactics, and was brilliant. Like going off at Birmingham, Lee Clark, his enthusiasm, his passion, his drive, tactically as well at times. There's just little bits you pick up from everyone, but the one I always go back to is Gordon Strachan.
Yeah. And there's many highlights as well, isn't there? I mean, the first home game sticks in my mind as well. Gary Rowett's first home game against Watford.
Yeah, they were unbeaten for a bit as well, top of the league, weren't they? And obviously at the time we were struggling. We got that 0-0, and then we beat them 2-1. Yeah, that was another great night actually. That was one of the best nights under the lights.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Our time is up. It's finished. The show has gone. An hour and a half gone like that, man.
Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
Crazy.
It's been a pleasure, Paul, mate. Thanks for giving us the time to speak to us,
brilliant.
No problem at all, anytime.
So thank you to Paul Hipkiss.
Good night, all. Keep right on.
Mark Adams.
Take care, everyone. Have a good week. Bye.
And the legend that is Paul Caddis. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Take care, guys. Thank you.
And good night.
Good night, all.
Good night.